All right, hello, I am Dalton, and today I'll be analyzing question 7 from our third SPL. So the question states, describe the difference between hosting and co-location. And I'm going to break them both down into detail and then give my opinion at the very end. So the main difference between these two business models is the level of control one would have from choosing either web hosting or co-location. But by choosing to web host, the client would pay to use a company's servers for storage space instead of purchasing their own servers, which sounds already kind of negative, but there are advantages to not owning these servers. And small businesses choose this path because it is overall more cost efficient compared to co-location, which I'll get into later. The central advantage of choosing to web host is having no responsibility on the physical hardware like mentioned earlier. This responsibility falls in the lines of upkeeping the maintenance on machines to continue operations. But this advantage has a huge disadvantage also. Depending on the company, one might have to share server space with other clients, causing a risk to network vulnerabilities and website downtime. Because these servers aren't entirely yours. You didn't purchase them, you're basically just renting them. And some examples of web hosting include shared, cloud-based, and virtual private server. So let's discuss co-location now. If you were to choose to not pay a company for their servers, then the inverse would obviously be to pay for servers yourself. This is usually a costly investment, but the servers could be stored in-house or at a data center. Either way, the purchaser has full control and ownership of the hardware and software. Co-location also allows for more bandwidth on average compared to a shared web hosting account. Bandwidth, by the way, is just a term for the amount of data that can be transmitted in a fixed amount of time. So since we're going over these two options, the advantages are essentially or practically the disadvantages for another. Co-location makes the owner responsible for all upgrades, updates, and maintenance of their software. This and the setup are why co-location is more of an expensive method between the two. And well, those are basically the very thin line differences the two techniques of storing data have on each other. And in my personal opinion, if money were no object, I would choose co-location hands down, because co-location is best explained by illustrating kind of an example of renting an apartment. So if I were to store data in a center through co-location, this is similar to paying for an apartment building, because I can decorate in my apartment how I want and all the furniture and things are mine, furniture and things being the servers. But at the end of the day, I still pay the landlord or the data center, but I don't have to worry about going back to my apartment and my furniture being rearranged or even gone. So co-location allows the purchaser to meet the needs of his or her company by using the servers in such a way to better improve their business. So you can rearrange and do what you need to do. Well, web hosting can be explained from like living in a dorm room situation with two other people. So I wouldn't entirely be able to decorate the room to my specific needs because I'm not the only one living there. I also wouldn't be able to rely on all my things being the exact same place when I left them, because people tend to rearrange things when you're living with roommates. So that's a very brief explanation on the differences between co-location and web hosting, but thanks for your time, and that concludes my little video.